Hey sis, if you've ever noticed that the moment you stop obsessing, the text comes, the money lands, or the opportunities show up. This video explains exactly why that happens. Last time, we talked about the nervous system, survival wiring, hypervigilance, and why just letting go never works when your body is still bracing for impact. Today, we're going deeper into the quantum mechanics of surrender and the pieces underneath it. Here is how this actually works. Your body creates the safety, but your energy creates the timeline. When your body feels safe, it stops bracing. And when your energy is open instead of gripping, things move faster. That's why manifestation doesn't speed up when you try harder. It speeds up when your system relaxes. Today, we're breaking this down scientifically, energetically, and spiritually so you understand why surrender works. And I'll break down how to shift out of control mode and into receiving mode in a way that actually changes your timeline. Before we go further, though, I do want to be clear about something because these words get mixed up all the time. Trust, resistance, and surrender, those are not the same thing. Trust is what you believe. Resistance is what tightens in your body when you don't feel safe yet. And surrender is what releases that tightening. So let's break this down, sis. When you're gripping, when you're forcing, overthinking, checking, or trying to control the how, it feels like you're being responsible, right? Like you're being smart, like you're staying on top of things. But energetically, that grip is a message. And without realizing it, your energy is basically saying something like, I don't really trust this yet, and I feel better staying on top of it. If I stop paying attention, then something could go wrong. So how can I relax? It doesn't say it out loud. It doesn't say it on purpose. But underneath the affirmations, underneath the journaling, that's the conversation your body is having. And here's how you can tell your body is bracing, even if you don't consciously notice it yet. You'll notice that your shoulders, they start to creep up. They feel tight. Your jaw tightens without you realizing it. Your breath gets shallow. And your mind starts looking for proof. Is it happening yet? Did I mess it up? Should I be doing more? Your emotions start bargaining. Okay, if I just try a little harder, if I check one more time, and before you know it, your nervous system is on watch. It's not panicking. It's not freaking out. It's just monitoring, scanning, tracking, waiting. And that monitoring mode may be quiet on the outside, but sis, energetically, it's so loud because the field doesn't hear your words. It feels your state. So even when you're saying, I do trust, I trust, your energy might still be saying underneath it all, I'm just not sure yet. So I'm keeping an eye on this. Because you're not just wanting the thing, you're watching for the thing. You're tracking for the thing. You're measuring time. You're looking for signs. You're reading into every delay. You're acting like the desire is fragile, like it might just disappear. And that keeps you relating to it like something you do not have yet. And that's a signal. Not the affirmations you're saying, not the vision board on your wall. The signal is the state that you're living in while you wait. So the field simply mirrors that state back to you. Not to punish you, not to test you, just to match your energy. Because the field answers the version of you that's present, not the version you're trying to perform. So if your energy is saying it's not here yet, life keeps showing you more not here yet. If your energy is saying, I need to manage this, you'll keep getting reasons to manage. And if your energy is saying, I'm close, but not quite there, you'll keep living in almost. Not because you're doing anything wrong. Your system is still relating to the desire as something in the future. And that's simply how we're designed. The nervous system tracks time and safety. It monitors what feels uncertain. So the watching, the checking, the bracing, it's not failure, it's only protection by design. That's why control feels so exhausting, because it keeps you on a timeline when you're almost approaching the manifestation, never inhabiting it. Now, when you release the how, when you soften your body, when you drop out of control and into trust, something begins to change. You don't stop caring. You don't give up. Your signal, it just gets cleaner. And when you soften, when you stop gripping, your feels start saying something very different. It says, I can stay relaxed while everything comes together. I don't need to chase what's meant for me. So your manifestations are not forced. They're not rushed. They're just steady and available. And in quantum language, that's coherence. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes coherence as the state where your mind, body, and heart are all aligned, sending one clear signal instead of mixed messages. There's no internal contradiction. No pulling forward with one part of you while another part of you is bracing or doubting. Coherence simply means your signal isn't split. You're not wanting with part of you and fearing with another part of you. Your nervous system, your emotions, and your intention are all aligned. And that's when the signal gets strong. It's massively strong. Because when you're gripping, your signal is divided. Part of you desires it. Part of you doubts it. Part of you is afraid. Part of you is bracing for disappointment. Part of you is trying to control timing. That's static. But when surrender, the split energy collapses into one clear frequency, certainty, safety, and openness. That's why surrender can feel like a timeline shift. Because you're no longer wanting from the future. You're relating to it like it's already secured. And that changes what you notice, what you allow, what you're available for, what you tolerate. It changes your behavior without you forcing it. It changes your choices without you spiraling. It changes your timing because you stop moving from urgency. So here's the cleanest way to say it. When you're in control mode, your manifestation stays in process. Always being worked on, always being managed, always almost there. But surrender. Surrender moves your energy into already held, like it's handled, it's secured. You don't have to keep checking on it. The quantum field doesn't move when you squeeze. It moves when you align. Letting go removes the interference, and coherence restores the flow. Now let's talk about the ego for a second, without making it a villain. Your ego isn't bad. It's not the enemy. It's trying to help you. The ego is built for survival in a linear world. It likes steps, timelines, instructions, guarantees, clear cause and effect. So when you want something, the ego immediately tries to solve it like a problem. It starts running a checklist. If I do this, then I'll get that. If I work harder, it should happen faster. If I plan every detail, I'll finally feel safe. If I stay on top of it, I can prevent disappointment. And on the surface, that does sound responsible. It sounds like you're handling your life. But here's what's actually happening underneath the surface. The ego is trying to manufacture safety through control. And control always creates tension because now your energy is tight. Your attention is narrow. Your body is braced. Your system is working overtime. And effort creates resistance. Not resistance in an only mystical sense, resistance in a very real, measurable way. Your nervous system stays activated. Your field stays contracted. Your signal stays split between desire and fear. And that kind of resistance slows everything down. Now, compare that to how the quantum field actually works. The quantum field isn't linear. It doesn't move in steps. It doesn't respond to checklists or force. It responds to your state of being. Specifically, how regulated your body is, how coherent your energy is, how available you are to receive. That's why relaxation matters. When you relax, even slightly, your breath deepens, your muscles soften, your field expands, your attention widens, and an expanded field has more access points. That's why softening opens the channel, not because you stop caring, but because you stop constricting the flow. This is where trust and surrender work together. Trust is the belief that things are working. Surrender is letting your body act like that belief is real. And trust isn't passive, it's an energetic posture. It's saying, I'm here, I'm open, and I'm not blocking what's trying to find me. So surrender doesn't magically make things happen faster. What it does is remove the resistance that was slowing them down. Less resistance equals cleaner signal. Cleaner signal equals faster response. Not because you pushed harder, but because you finally stopped getting in the way. Now, let's talk about why letting go actually makes your signal stronger. So, zoom in and listen carefully. When you stop gripping the desire, your energy doesn't fade. Because gripping usually comes from fear. Not big, dramatic fear, but that subtle fear. Do these sound familiar, sis? I'm just trying to be responsible. I don't want to get my hopes up. I just want to make sure this works. And that kind of fear doesn't feel intense. It feels busy. Your signal gets choppy and interrupted. You're still sending the desire. It's just not coming through cleanly. It's like talking on the phone when the connection keeps cutting out. You're speaking, you're trying, but the message isn't landing the way you intend. That's what happens energetically when you're anxious or controlling or doubting or constantly checking. The desire is there, but the signal carrying it is distorted. So when people say, I don't get it, I'm manifesting, but it's not working. What's often happening isn't that the desire is wrong, it's that the signal is scrambled. But here's the shift. Letting go doesn't mean you stop wanting it, and it definitely doesn't mean you stop participating in your life. It means you stop fearing the desire. You stop bracing for disappointment before it happens. You stop staying on edge about the outcome. You stop sending mixed messages, wanting it with one part of you, while protecting yourself from it with another. Letting go isn't passive. It's not giving up. And it's not sitting around waiting for the universe to figure it out. It's choosing to act from safety instead of urgency. You still take action, but it comes from clarity and alignment, not pressure. From intuition, not panic. From trust, not fear. You move when it feels aligned. You respond instead of chase. You leave space for things to meet you. And that's when safety comes online. Your body relaxes, your breath deepens, your nervous system stops bracing. And from that grounded place, your energy becomes steady, clear, and available. That's coherence. Coherence is when your desire, your emotions, and your nervous system are all on the same page and saying the same thing. And coherence amplifies your signal. A clear signal always travels farther than a loud, frantic one. That's why things so often show up after you let go. Not because the universe was testing you in the first place, but because your signal finally became strong enough to receive what you've been asking for. Now, let's connect this to the quantum piece. In quantum physics, a possibility exists in multiple forms until you observe it, called the observer effect. Now, you don't collapse a timeline with thought alone, you collapse it with emotional certainty. Thought tries to control, thoughts ask how and when. But emotion, when it's calm and certain, it allows. Surrender is the emotional state that says, it's handled, I don't need to chase it, and I'm safe letting it come to me. That already done energy is what collapses a future timeline into the present. Because when your body and emotions are no longer searching, you're no longer signaling lack. That's why when you truly let go, texts come, money appears, opportunity lands, clarity drops in, delays dissolve. You run into the one seemingly by chance. Care stays, urgency goes, and that's what changes everything. Surrender moves you out of seeking mode and into receiving mode. And receiving mode, it doesn't chase, it attracts. When you're relaxed, open, and emotionally certain, your system stops reaching outward. And when you stop reaching, things start moving toward you. That's how surrender collapses timelines. Not by force, not by effort, but by alignment. Now, let's make this practical, sis. Surrender is not a mindset, it's not passive, and it's not doing nothing. It's energetic cooperation. And here's how you do it in real time. First thing you're going to always do is you're going to have to notice the grip. The moment you feel urgency, overthinking, spiraling, checking, rereading, micromanaging, obsessing, tightening in your body, you're gripping. You want to interrupt the grip by pausing, placing your hand on your heart, breathing slow, and exhaling longer. You then will shift the signal. Say one clear thing to your body. I don't know how or when, but I know this is handled. Then finally redirect your attention. Take a small action that signals trust. Go for a walk. Hydrate your body. Take a warm shower. Stretch. Do something pleasurable. Pleasure is a surrender signal. And let me be clear here. Surrender does not mean you stop managing your life or your business. You still check your email. You still show up to work. You still take aligned action. What you're not doing anymore is forcing, controlling, or over-monitoring the result. This is where faith comes in. And faith is not the same thing as surrender. Faith is knowing that when you flip a light switch, that light will turn on. You don't stand there questioning it. You don't keep flipping it over and over. You don't stare at the bulb waiting to see if it worked. You flip the switch and you move on. Surrender is moving on. Faith is knowing it works. You've already taken the aligned action, and so it shall be. Surrender is trusting the system to do its part without you hovering over it. You must expect goodness, not by force, but by frequency. This looks like sending the email, then not rereading it 10 times. Posting the offer, then not refreshing the stats all day long. Having the conversation, then not replaying it all night. You're sending the message, I've done my part, I'm open, I'm relaxed. And that balance, action without attachment, responsibility without control, is quantum surrender in real life. Here's what shifts on the other side of letting go. Your nervous system opens. Your electromagnetic field expands. Your intuition turns on. Your RAS, or your reticular activating system, starts filtering for what actually supports you. Synchronicities increases. Resistance drops. You move into receivership instead of effort. Your manifestation accelerates. Letting go doesn't delay your manifestation. It clears the path for it. Control slows down manifestation. Surrender speeds it up, because surrender aligns your energy with the version of reality where your desire is already unfolding, instead of keeping you stuck managing it from the outside. So sis, surrender is not passive. It is an energetic strategy, a quantum accelerator, a nervous system recalibration. And I know surrender is easier said than done. For a lot of us, that word even feels loaded, like giving up, like losing control, like letting things fall apart, like feeling weak. But that's not what surrender actually means. It is the moment your body says, I'm safe now. And then the universe steps up and says, finally, she's open. Real surrender doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop fighting what you've already set in motion. It's still showing up, just without squeezing the outcome. It's doing your part, then letting your system stand down. If this resonated, I invite you to drop a comment and tell me, where are you ready to stop gripping and start receiving? Because naming it is the first act of surrender. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and meet me next Wednesday. And if you want to go even deeper into identity, frequency, and the energetic science of manifestation, my free masterclass, The 10 Codes of Manifestation, is linked below. Remember, you're not behind. You're not blocked. You're not broken. You're just learning how to stop fighting the flow. You're learning how to be soft in a world that's been hard on you. And when you stop fighting it, life rushes in. I'll see you next week.